things colour. So I'm going to let you know how the sessions run, and for those that are joining us for the very first time, welcome and thank you for tuning in. And for those that are coming back again, thanks again for joining us this evening. Okay, so how the sessions work is for the next half an hour I will be in front of the screen talking all things colour, products, projects, and certainly all around your frequently asked questions. So use it as an opportunity to upload any questions that you do have into our feed, and I'll certainly do my best to answer them for you. As soon as we finish streaming, so after half an hour, I will be behind the computer, if you like, for a further half an hour or so after that. And it's then that you can upload any images that you do have, and I'll certainly do my best to offer some colour suggestions. So as I said, we're here tonight to talk about all of your frequently asked questions, and I do have a lot tonight which sort of are not necessarily all about colour, and that's certainly something I like to make clear, that we're here to offer, you know, advice not only on colour, but we do have an amazing portfolio of products that we have designed to protect and beautify your space. So I do like to talk about the wonderful products that we do have that can help you to achieve, you know, a fantastic result. So we do have a lot of questions, and they're sort of around projects, if you like. So I'm going to begin, and as I start, please, I know we're live. I've just seen it come up on my screen to let me know that we are live. So use it as an opportunity to pop all of your questions into the feed, and I'll certainly answer them for you. So I'm going to begin, and I should let you know that our frequently asked questions sort of come from all of our social media platforms, and we like to keep it real, and so we sort of look at everything that everybody's asking and we collate a list, and we do that sort of every second week. So it's a great opportunity. You know, I might be answering one of your questions that you've popped in and sort of asked a week or so ago. So the first one, we've just bought a house and want to know what we need to do to paint our inside doors. Okay, well, congratulations on buying your first house. So look, it is, there's lots of ways you can go about it, and certainly, you know, a lot of people, I hear that they'll strip the doors, etc., back to bare timber and paint again. So look, I'm going to give you a couple of tips. So we have, there is a way so that you can avoid stripping right back to bare timber, if you like. There is a way to check to see. So I'm going to suggest when you paint your doors that using a water-based enamel is the way to go. Now, there's so many reasons for that, and there's a couple that I like to bring to life. The first one is, look, it's the ease of application. It's fantastic. It's less drying time, you've got minimal smell, and the other beautiful thing about it is that water-based enamel will stay true to colour, so it's not going to golden up, which is what happens to an oil-based enamel. And you know, you're not going to be left with that smell that lingers when you use an oil-based enamel, because that can hang around for months. So what you can do is you can do a little test. So what I would recommend is getting yourself a dark coloured rag and some methylated spirits, and sort of pop some methylated spirits onto the rag and then wipe it onto the painted surface. Now, if it comes off, it is a water-based product. If it shines up, it is an oil-based product. So if it's a water-based product, it's a light sand, so that you're just lightly deglossing the surface, and then you can go over it again with your water-based enamel. If it's an oil-based product, you're going to need to use a product that's going to be, if you like, it's going to be your binding coat or your adhesion coat. So it's going to ensure that the water-based enamel will adhere to the oil-based. So we have a fantastic product called Taubmans 3-in-1, and I probably should show you what these products look like, so that when you're going on your journey of renovating, etc., you know what products to look for. So I will take you to our website, and now this is a fantastic place. So you're embarking on some renovating, and you're going to start investigating what to use. So if you go to www.taubmans.com.au, there are tabs, etc., that can help you and guide you and take you in the right direction. So you've got colours, and then you've got products. So I will share my screen, and hopefully this all works. Yep, beautiful. And I'll pop myself up in the corner. Wonderful. Okay, so I've gone to www.taubmans.com.au. So ordinarily I'd take you for a journey through paint colours, but this time we're going to hit products. And as you can see, when you hover, like I'm hovering my mouse over products, and you can see the drop down menu. So you've got, you know, prep products, exterior, interior, doors and trims, etc. So the first thing we're going to look at is our prep products. So I'm going to just tap on that. This is the product that I'm talking about, which is Taubmans 3-in-1. It is a fantastic product. This is what you would put onto your doors that are pre-painted, if you like, in oil-based enamel. And so once you've done that, you would then follow it. So I'll go back to doors and trims, and you would use the water-based enamel. Fantastic product, an amazing product, designed to self-level. It'll give you a beautiful finish. And just make sure when you do use these fantastic products, it's not only the product, but you want to ensure that you're using the right tools to apply so that you do get that fantastic finish. So you're going to use a very, very low nap roller for your water-based enamel. I think you're looking at around about a 4 to a 6, I think it is. And that's going to help to ensure that it's going to self-level and give you a beautiful finish. So that is what I would recommend for when you're doing internal doors. I hope that helps. If you do have any further questions or want to know anything else, please pop something into the feed. I'll be very happy to answer. Okay, so I'll come back to camera. Okay, so the next question that we've had is I have never painted before and I'm not sure of where to start. Can you please help me with what I need to do and use? We have just removed old plaster due to water damage and now have new plaster. Okay, so plasterboard is an amazing product itself, and what it actually has, it has lots of little tiny pinholes in it. So you need to ensure that you use a really good product, so a primer sealer undercoat that's going onto that, and it's going to fill those little pinholes, giving you a beautiful blank canvas, if you like, so that when you're putting your top coat on, you're going to get an even distribution and you're going to be left with a beautiful finish. So again, the product that I showed you prior, the Taubmans 3-in-1, is the way I would direct you. It has exceptional filling properties, and it's going to ensure, as I said, that those little tiny pinholes in your plaster are filled. Now, what else are you saying here? You're not sure where to start. Okay, so obviously, as I've just mentioned, new bare gyprock or plasterboard, etc., needs to be primed, hence 3-in-1, and then you can top coat. I would recommend using something like Taubmans Endure. It is a fantastic product. It has what they call NanoGuard technology. So NanoGuard is an actual science, and if you look at it under a microscope, you'll be able to learn more, but I'll give you a quick insight to what it actually is. So a standard paint film contains a one size paint particle, and that's what you can see under a microscope. Not necessarily us, but that's what the chemists, etc., can see. And then with Taubmans Endure, it has that one size paint particle, but it also has a smaller paint particle designed to fill the airspace. And what it does, it creates an interlocking molecular structure. You're probably saying, okay, so what does that mean? What it means is you can scrub your paint and it's not going to burnish, you're not going to be left with shiny patches, etc. So exceptional cleaning properties. It has all of your mold inhibitors inbuilt, which is really, really important, especially, you know, for people that are living, for example, where I am in Queensland, where you get high humidity and mold can become quite prevalent. So your Taubmans Endure is the way to go, and it's available in a low sheen, matte, etc. So that is what I would recommend. And I think that's a really good place to start. It's really important to make sure that when you are doing a renovation that you are using products that are fit for purpose. So I'll quickly touch on the other ones while we're here. So using a ceiling white or a ceiling which is a flat paint on your ceiling, it's going to stop glancing light, help to hide any imperfections. And then for your broad wall, so as I mentioned before, making sure that any bare gyprock, etc., is pre-primed using 3-in-1, and then using your products to do your top coat, as I just mentioned, Taubmans Endure. And then when you've got your doors and trims, as I talked about before, you would use, it's entirely up to you, but I would recommend using a water-based enamel, and just to do that method test to ensure that it's going to be compatible. So seeing whether you have an oil-based or a water-based pre-existing on the doors. So they're your products, and that's kind of the way that you would use them. Okay, if you need any more information, please pop something into the feed. I'll be very happy to answer any further questions. Okay, the next one. We have an old house and the walls are very uneven and filled with imperfections. What is the best product to use, and please tell me why? Okay, so if we're talking about a broad wall interior, which I am presuming we are, I would recommend, as Taubmans Endure again, but this time I'd recommend using a matte finish. So a matte is designed to help hide any imperfections. So if you've got an old house, let's just say like an old Queenslander or something like that, where the walls are full of imperfections, they're uneven, or you've got very long hallways, like your hallway isn't, let's just say the walls, you know, they may slightly bend, or they're not perfect. I would recommend using the matte. And the reason being, it helps hide imperfections because of the way there's less light that bounces off, if you like. And the other fantastic thing about it is with Taubmans Endure again. So this time when we're talking about a matte paint, most matte paints contain what's called calcium carbonate, and that's the product that helps to make matte. And when you wipe over a matte paint, generally what happens is the calcium carbonate can fracture. And when that happens, you end up with what's called burnishing, or you may, and a prime example of this can be, you know, you've got a ceiling, you've wiped off a mark, and you're looking at it the next day, you know that it's dry, but it looks shiny. And you're thinking, gosh, is it still wet? It's looking, you know, shiny, etc. That's burnishing primarily. And so you want to avoid that. And so with the Endure Matte, it has what they call ceramic microspheres. So they're little tiny ceramic beads that are in the paint. And so what that does, again, it gives you the ability to, you know, really wipe those walls, eliminating any burnishing happening. So that is the way that I would send you. So I'm happy to go back to my laptop, and I'll quickly just show you again, just to reiterate in case you're just joining us. So www.taubmans.com.au. You can see here, so colours, products, we're going into the products, we're looking at interior paints this time, so tap on that. And here's our Taubmans Endure. And then, as I said, it's available in a matte, low sheen, etc. But this is the product that you want. That's showing you the low sheen. The matte has a blue band as opposed to the orange there. So that is the product that I would recommend, especially for matte being for walls that have imperfections. Okay, I'll come back on screen. All right, so the next question that we have a new front door and we need some help with colour and paint tips. It has come primed. Please advise on what to do and how to do it. We want a soft pinky colour as well, thanks. Okay, so it's the door, I've got a new front door. It has, it's pre-primed. Okay, so my understanding, when doors come pre-primed, they are primed for transportation purposes. So I would always recommend priming again if you like. So using Taubmans 3-in-1, and then again using the Taubmans water-based enamel. It's a fantastic product. It's going to give you that beautiful finish. Available in, you know, you can do it in a semi-gloss, gloss, whatever you prefer. But when we're talking about, and this is a front door, when we talk about painting front doors, I really think what looks fantastic is to gloss the colour up. So when you gloss a colour up, it slightly intensifies the overall colour. Now the best way to understand that is when you're next in a hardware store. So say you're going down to Bunnings on the weekend, you're standing at our colour wall and you're having a look at colours, grab yourself one of our colour chips and then take it home, or even ask the guys at the paint counter actually whether they've got some clear sticky tape. So here's your paint chip, put some clear sticky tape over part of it, make sure you've rubbed it down really well, and then you can start to see the difference. You'll actually be able to see for yourself how the colour intensifies. I think it's a really good trick, and it's a really good way to understand how the door will look in gloss or your paint finish. So that is something I would recommend doing. So as I said, I'm just making sure I'm on track here. So let's have a look at a colour that could be ideal for your front door. So you're after a pink. There's many variations of pink, and pink seems to be trending big time at the moment. Certainly, I have been asked quite a few times for a Barbie pink. So next week I'm actually going to do a little bit of a session on the varying shades of pink, and certainly bring in a Barbie inspired pink. So you're after a soft pink for front door. Let me have a look. Now here's another thing that's really important when you're looking at front door colours, okay? There's a beautiful colour here called Canyon Pink. Let me just have a look. Yep. Okay, so when you look at colours, look, you can put anything you like on basically. It's entirely up to you. Colour is very personal, I understand that. And look, we're here just to give you some guidance and to give you some tips when it comes to colour selection and painting. But most or a lot of front door manufacturers have stipulations against the colour that is used on the front door. So for example, they don't want the colour to be too dark, because what can happen is, you know, if it's in sun and the dark colour draws the heat in, if you like, and the wood can potentially start to twist and warp. So you can potentially void the warranty of your front door. So how do you avoid that? Okay, so all of our colours have what's called an LRV, which is the light reflectance value. And I talk about this a lot. Now, what happens when you are selecting a colour for your front door? It's a really good idea to just see if you can find out a little bit of information around the LRV. So as I've shown you before, like when you go into Bunnings and you're selecting a colour, they always have behind the paint counter one of these, which is our fan deck. And every colour is sort of laid out this way, but then on the back of the colours, and I don't know whether you can see this, and I'm hoping that we can. Yep, you can actually. On the back, every colour has what's called an LRV. So the LRV, the light reflectance value. So this is a number that's attributed to it. So when you're looking at colours, we're looking for colours that are 50 or greater. So 50 going up to 100. So for example, the colour that I'm looking at here, which is a beautiful pink, second one down, is called Canyon Pink. And that has an LRV of 60.45. So that is a colour that I would certainly suggest for your front door, or perhaps if you're wanting something that is a little bit more, let's have a look here, a little bit more sort of on the dusty sort of pink. There is a beautiful colour here called Taylor Rose, which is the third one down here. And the LRV for that is, what have we got here? 55.17, so perfect. Now the other place that you can find information around LRVs again is on our website. So I'll quickly show you. So back to the laptop, I'll put myself up in the corner. So this time we go where it says colours. So www.taubmans.com.au, and we will go to paint colours, and we'll scroll down here to where you can see order colour swatches. Now if we tap on this, and in the search function here, this is where we can look for a colour. So what did I have before? Taylor Rose. Okay, so here we go. So if we tap on where it says view colour details, here you can find a lot of information. So, and we're looking for the LRV, the light reflectance value, so 55.17. So we know this colour is perfect. So you can go and search all of your colours here. A really good place, makes it very, very easy. So you can start looking at colours on our website, and then pop them into this search function here, and then learn about the LRVs. Alrighty, I'll come back. Okay, so another question here. What do I have here? Can you please tell me how I can prevent mold from returning in our bathroom? We're going to paint but not sure what to use. Okay, again, so there's lots of questions here around about products, so which makes me think that there are a lot of renovations and etc. happening, which is fantastic. Okay, so when painting your bathroom, or when painting in general, if you've got any areas that are susceptible to mold, or you've got any mold present, it's really important to ensure that you eradicate that prior to painting. We have a fantastic product available called Mold Action. So what this does, and I'll just see whether I can get this up on screen here as well. What it does is I understand that it was originally designed for the Singapore market where they have high humidity. And my first dealing with it, I thought, oh, okay, it's going to smell very much like bleach. I opened up the container and there was no smell at all. So I was very surprised. And the way it works is that on, say for example, on your bathroom ceiling, you spray it with Mold Action, leave it there for 24 hours, and don't be surprised if you come back in and you see lots of black spots, etc., because that is the mold spore coming out, which is what you want to remove. Sometimes when you're just wiping the surface of mold, you're just removing the flower, but you're not actually treating the spore. So you use that, and then you, after 24 hours, you can wipe it off, and then you can paint. And again, we've talked a lot about Endure tonight. I would certainly recommend using Taubmans Endure again. Reason being, not only does it have NanoGuard technology, but it has inbuilt mold inhibitors within the paint. So again, that's going to help you prevent further mold or mold at all. So that is what I would recommend. It is a fantastic product, and I can tell you that living in Queensland, we've had lots of humid weather, a lot of rain, not so much now, but more so last year. We had lots, a huge amount, and I did not have any mold in my house at all. And I attribute that to Endure. It was fantastic. Okay, what else do I have here? Okay, can I paint my ceiling and wall the same color but different sheen? Yes, you certainly can. We seem to get asked that a lot. So this is a really good way of, how do you say it? Like if you've got a, okay, so when you paint your ceiling white, for example, and then you paint your wall in, let's just say, I'm looking at a color here, Siberian Husky, so a beautiful soft beige. What happens where the ceiling meets the wall, if you like, sort of the eye will stop there where there's the change of color. And then you quickly look around and you can start to size the room up, etc. And you can see whether it's, you know, a small area, large, whatever it may be. When you paint your ceiling the same color as your walls, what it actually does is, and this works really, really well for rooms that are rather small, it basically helps to create the illusion of more space, because you haven't got a place where the eye naturally stops, because the eye looks up and over due to that color just continuing. But again, as I've talked about tonight, really important to make sure that the product that you are using is fit for purpose. So I would recommend again using a ceiling white, so a tintable ceiling white, and then certainly using Endure if you like, and you know, you can have those tinted the same. And then again, what you can also do is for your doors and trim using the same color again, but this time, as we've talked about, water-based enamel, perhaps using you know, a semi-gloss, and you'll get that very slight variance with color. But a fantastic way to ensure that if you've got a small space, it's certainly going to make your space feel bigger. Okay, what else have we got? Okay, I've got lots of different questions here. I'm just trying to see, we haven't got much time, so I'm just looking for something that's not going to take me too long. Okay, I love the look of green. I'm too scared to use it in my bedroom. Can you please suggest ways in which I can use colour without painting all walls? Can you also please suggest a sage style green? I've heard so much about this type of colour, but I'm yet to see what it looks like. Okay, so, you know, feature wall, not feature wall, look, it's entirely up to you. Colour placement is something that's very personal, and it's certainly, and so is colour selection. And, you know, people go, oh, feature walls are out, etc. Look, I don't think they are. I think it's a great way of injecting colour within your space, but without committing to painting all four walls, if you like. And what it does is it creates a focal point. So certainly a feature wall is a great way if you're not wanting to paint a wall Introducing colour onto a door looks fantastic as well. Or even in things like if you've got a mantle, like a fireplace with a mantle above, etc. You know, just above, sort of above the mantle, sorry, sort of where the chimney is, if you like, you can inject some colour there. It creates a focal point, creating a hero in your space. So there's a few areas that you can do that where it's not going to, you know, you're not painting all four walls and injecting a huge amount of colour. So as for a green, I am very partial to a particular sage style green that we have here. It is a colour here called Highland Meadow. It works really, really well in most areas, that's for sure. It's not too intense, but it gives you that beautiful green feeling, but it's quite soft, and it's actually quite an elegant green. So I would have a look at that. If you're not wanting to inject too much colour or commit, certainly trial it by painting a door first and see how you feel about it. It is a fantastic colour. So have a look at Highland Meadow. Okay, I hope that helps. Certainly pop something into the feed if you're wanting to know anything else. Okay, what else do I have here? Okay, I'm wanting to paint the outside courtyard with a pop of colour. We live coastal, and I was thinking of using something that is blue-green. I've heard of a colour called duck egg blue. Is this such a thing? It certainly is. So, I mean, look, everyone has variations or ideas about what the colour looks like. I'm just trying to find something that's going to give you a feel for what I believe a duck egg sort of blue looks like. So it's sort of a bluey green, very soft. Maybe there's a colour here called Babbling Stream, which sort of sits within the realms. Oh yeah, you can see that there, of that sort of dark egg blue. I think something like that would look beautiful to inject a little bit of colour into the exterior of a home. You could even go a little bit more intense, because remembering when you put colour outside, a lot of the colours tend to lighten up slightly, so you can afford to inject just a little bit more colour. So the next one down is a colour called Blue Willow. Have a look at that. It's a fantastic colour. What I suggest though, and I suggest this for, doesn't matter whether you're looking at embarking on an interior paint journey or an exterior paint journey, because colour is very personal, and when you're standing there at the colour wall and you're deliberating over colour and you're looking at a small chip, look, it can change in a larger sort of format, and it can certainly look different in varying degrees of light, whether it be interior or exterior. So by trialing it via a sample pot, you cannot go wrong. So here you go, you're embarking on, here we go, we're wanting to put some colour into our outside courtyard, we're not really sure. So go down to Bunnings. All of our paint, when it comes into store, comes on pallets, and in between each layer of paint are what are called pallet liners. So they're large pieces of cardboard. Ask the team for one of these and cut the pallet liner. You're wanting to have a piece of cardboard to be 1 metre by 1 metre square. I think this is a really good size to ensure that you're going to see how the colour is going to perform for you. So give it 3 coats. The first coat's going to aid as an undercoat, and then 2 top coats. Now, for outside, trial the colour in full sun, and this is really good. Doesn't matter, we're talking about, you know, like a duck egg sort of blue, but it's really important as well when we're talking about whites, because whites tend to be quite tricky in an external application. They can have a tendency to bleach out and lose sort of, they tend to look a lot lighter. So certainly testing it in full sun, but also testing it in areas that lack sunlight, help you to understand and see how the colour is going to work. Now the other thing to do as well, like do the same thing for inside, but this time still with your metre by 1 metre square of cardboard, you're going to test it in 2 areas. So here's your wall, here's your ceiling. You're going to put it up against the wall here so that it's almost touching the ceiling, so that you can see how that colour is going to perform in varying lights. So under natural light is the best light to look at color, but you're also going to want to look at it under artificial light. And the same again, the other area to test it is here's your wall, here's your floor, putting your sample against the wall, touching the floor so that you can see how that color is going to perform with things like floorboards, etc., because they have a tendency to influence the color. So that's really, really important. I can guarantee if you test your color, you're not going to be disappointed with the outcome, because color is, oh look, color's very powerful. It's an amazing tool that we use to, not only protect but to beautify our spaces. But again, color's very personal, and it's really important that you love your color and that you understand how it's going to look in your environment. So that concludes this evening. I think it's been a very quiet night tonight, so that's okay. We've had lots to talk about. So as I always say, I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. And until then, happy painting. Bye.